then rose dramatically. First, Chris Myers placed his header wide of Hughes in the Shrewsbury goal. That Myers' second goal in 3 games. Then striker Mark Doby struck out hopefully and saw his shot thread through for the equaliser. Doby at last getting on the goal trail. 2-2, cue the celebrations. And they'd have been redoubled had Scott Colcombe managed to make the most of this chance in the dying seconds, the desperate defence closing him down in time. So something for the fans to sing about, but it's still looking grim.
Meanwhile, Torquay's fight to escape the big drop goes on, and they're certainly taking some big scalps in the process. Stockport are the latest, well beaten 2-0 on the day. Torquay's first goal came midway through the first half from this long goal kick. Doby knocks it onto Myers, and in the end it's Fashanu from close quarters. Stockport's main threat in the second half came somewhat ironically from loan signing Mark Loram, a Torquay player himself. This effort just tipped over. But United put the game beyond doubt with 11 minutes to go when Wes Saunders headed home from the corner. Torquay are still 1 off the foot of the table, but they do have games in hand.
Reading's Kevin Dillon opened the scoring at Elm Park straight from a corner after only 18 minutes. Stuart Lovell then nipped in to make it 2 6 minutes later. And a few seconds later, it was 3. Lee Barkas with his debut goal for the Royals. Player-manager Mark McGee's diving header made it 4 goals in just 15 minutes. Although Torquay did pull 1 back just before half-time, Chris Myers beating Steve Francis. The rout continued in the second half with 2 strikes from Craig Maskell. The final goal set up by Kevin Dillon for Maskell's header. Easily the Berkshire club's best win of the season. Reading 6, Torquay 1.
Torquay's goal led a charmed life in the first half, with Hull having 2 goals disallowed. There didn't seem too much wrong with that one. But the visitors did get some reward for their hard work after 42 minutes when an unmarked Dean Windus headed home after meeting a fine cross from Lee Jenkinson. Knowing defeat would mean almost certain relegation, United moved up a gear after the break and hit back when Chris Myers scored his 4th goal in 7 games after good work by Paul Hall. Hull still had their moments. Atkinson really should have scored here. But Torquay held out and scored what could be a most crucial goal when Fashanu netted from close range with just 9 minutes to go. Final score, Torquay 2, Hull 1.
Rating, I'm afraid, for Torquay United. Defeat at Chester means they look down and out. They held on until the 42nd minute, then a flick-on set up a chance for Stuart Rimmer at the far post. Well, after the break, the killer blow. Torquay unable to defend the corner, and Chris Lightfoot beating young Matthew Lowe in goal. 2-0, the final score. More immediate for Torquay United. Their stirring recovery hasn't been full enough. Tomorrow, defeat against Bolton will send them back to the 4th. Their manager is now calling on one last quality.
For me, the most important thing is to show the pride. If you got it, you got a chance. If you ain't got it, then it's really hard and difficult.
Do you think, though, Ivan, at the end of it, that you will stay up?
It's very difficult and hard task. Yes, we have so much at stake, and as I said, it looks like, you know, so many games in all 4 divisions. Well, it's going to be decided, you know, in the very last game, even in the very last kick of the game.
Even if they win tomorrow, relegation still looks certain, and that could cue wholesale changes throughout all levels of the club. The flame would still flicker as long as they won and Hull and Chester didn't. Torquay at least did all they could. Dave Beckett is the commentator.
Oh, and he's done well to beat his man. Fashanu's in the middle. Sean Joyce in there too. And under the challenge, it's a penalty. Fashanu against Dave Falgate. Great penalty from Justin Fashanu. Myers in with the corner, 5 minutes remaining. Torquay could seal it here. It's a long one towards Saunders. Good jump. Fashanu's underneath it. Doby's in there. They're flapping away. And that's a great goal from Darren Moore.
2-0 then, but wins for their rivals meant Torquay were relegated. If only, said the manager afterwards, he'd had more time.
As I said, if have been together, you know, for a few more, you know, a couple of months, 3 months. I do know what I want to, so as I said, if you have another 4 games to go, probably we're going to be safe.
Now those sweeping changes are likely.
Well, we start talking with Ivan, with the board, about the future of the wage bill mainly, and the wage bill is the be-all and end-all of it.
There were rumours earlier this season about your future here. Does this make you reconsider about staying at all?
It doesn't affect me in any way. If somebody comes along and presses several £1 million in my hand, then I'll go. Otherwise, I'm here next season.
And what about your manager?
We haven't talked yet.
Already doomed, but certainly went down fighting in last night's final home match.
Before the match, a well-deserved Player of the Year award for Torquay's talented fullback Paul Holmes, one of the few success stories this season. And it's Holmes who creates United's first real chance of the match from the free kick. In the end, it's Chris Myers mistiming his volley. But Torquay really should have scored after 27 minutes. Justin Fashanu creates his usual havoc, and it's Mark Doby wasting a glorious chance. Peterborough, on the other hand, were far more clinical, though their first goal had more than an element of luck, Charlery taking an opportunist swipe at the rebounded shot from Marcus Ebden. The United hit back just before the break. It's Wes Saunders knocking in the cross. Fullback Ronnie Robinson gets in the way, and that's handball.
So it's Fashanu to take the penalty, which will put Torquay back in the game. Yes, beautifully taken.
Peterborough, chasing the win that would ensure a playoff place, looked far more determined after the break and were rewarded themselves with a penalty after Darren Moore brought down Alcock.
So Kenny Charlery strikes it in, scores his second goal of the night, and Peterborough take the lead here.
But again, it wasn't to last. It's Wes Saunders chasing what seems an impossible dream here. The bemused Posh defence just stand aside, and it's an own goal by David Robinson, giving Torquay a well-deserved point. At least they've been relegated with pride. Torquay 2, Peterborough 2.
The board held a 4-hour meeting to discuss the future following the predictable end to a disastrous campaign. Huddersfield decide to benefit from the Gulls' clueless stumblings. 4-0, the final score on Saturday. Well, it's clear there will be major changes, with the chairman talking about cutting the wages bill, but no decisions were made today. We're told all will be revealed next week. Well, still hot favourite for the vacant manager's job is Youth Development Officer and player Paul Compton.